It's the 4th of July 2014. A very good afternoon to all our viewers and welcome to Lunchtime News with me, Joel Outskun, coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Center here in Colombo. Let's now take a look at your headlines. 2 dead and 11 injured in accidents along the expressway. 2 individuals who attempted to escape the Gaol prison arrested. Senior Minister Tissa Vitarana comments on the executive presidency.
මේ අඩුපාඩුකම් තියෙනවා සැක පහල කරන බලතල තියෙනවා.
Let's now take a look at these stories in detail. According to the police, 1 person died and 10 individuals suffered injuries when a van veered into the left guard fence of the Southern Expressway yesterday. The accident took place close to the 23rd kilometer post of the Southern Expressway in the Kaltara North Police Division.
The deceased has been identified as 64-year-old N.J. Vijay Thilaka. The remains of the deceased are currently lying in the Nagoda hospital. The police stated the injured, which includes 6 women, are currently receiving treatment at the Nagoda hospital as well. The injured have been identified as residents of the Gampala area who were returning home following a religious ceremony in Mathura. The cause of the accident, which took place at around 10:45 p.m, has not yet been ascertained. Meanwhile, a motorcyclist who entered the Kadunayaka Colombo Expressway illegally from the Palliaguda entrance died after meeting with an accident in the Vattala area. According to the police, the motorcyclist that did not heed police summons had rear-ended a vehicle at around 10:50 p.m. Reports say that the deceased motorcyclist was a 38-year-old resident of the Castle Street in Boralla. A woman who was travelling on the motorcycle was injured in the accident and has been admitted to the Colombo National Hospital.
The OSC of the Dodangada police arrived at the residence of Suminda Saman yesterday to accompany him to carry out an investigation. Suminda Saman resigned from the Sri Lanka police following an incident on the Southern Expressway involving a deputy minister.
The OIC arrived at the residence of Suminda Saman at around 8:30 p.m. A large number of area residents also arrived at the same time.
They came at around 8:20 p.m. and the OIC of the Dodangoda police asked me to get into the car they came in. I am under constant threat and they didn't even have any weapons, so I refused to get into the vehicle.
The inquired police media spokesperson SSP Ajit Rona stated that the group arrived at the residence yesterday to accompany him to an investigation into the arson attack on his car.
The police officers were not attempting to kidnap him. What they wanted to do was to travel to the location where the incident took place and figure out how long it took. If a police constable was assaulted and his vehicle was torched, we consider it as an insult to the police service and a challenge to us. We will not hesitate to bring the perpetrators to book. However, we cannot say anything without completing investigations. There are various rumors going around, but I want to assure the public that we will be completing investigations within 2 weeks.
Former police constable Suminda Saman, who was attached to the motor traffic division of the Southern Expressway, was assaulted by a group of persons on the 30th of May while travelling to work from Dodamgoda. The incident took place a couple of days after he was involved in an incident with the deputy minister in close proximity to the Kottawa entrance of the Southern Expressway. A group that arrived in a cab had assaulted the police officer, torched his car and fled the scene.
Still in local news this afternoon, 2 prisoners who attempted to escape the Gaol prison have been arrested. Prison spokesman T.N. Upuldeniya stated that the prisoners were serving short prison terms. He added that they had attempted to escape while they were out cleaning the surrounding of the premises this morning. A discussion was organized by the National Council for a Clean Tomorrow to discuss their policy framework and the steps that need to be taken in line with it. A number of political parties, including the JHU, the Sri Lanka Communist Party and the LSSP, took part in this discussion.
There is an issue about good governance in the country. There is also a need to strengthen democracy and to create national unity. There are various shortcomings in the executive presidency. There are various powers which could lead to a dictatorship. They themselves accept that the time has come to take away these powers. However, we continue to have differences on how to do this. Should we abolish the executive presidency or should we make amendments to it?
සම්බන්ධව තමයි අපි අතර යම් මතභේද තියෙන්නේ වෙනසක් තියෙන්නේ.
Area residents of the Karulagaswa Divisional Secretariat noted that they continue to be affected by the wild elephant menace. They state that 10 houses were destroyed in wild elephant attacks this week alone. Egutapiti and Muria Kuluma villages in the Karulagaswa Divisional Secretariat Division faced the brunt of the damage caused by wild elephant attacks. Our correspondent stated that a wild elephant attacked a house in the area last night. 3 houses were destroyed in the area day before yesterday. The residents in the area state that the wild elephants in the Thaboba Wildlife Sanctuary stray into the villages frequently. A group of parents staged a protest opposite the Kirinda Vidyalaya in Haliyala yesterday.
The protest was held against the principal of the Kirinda Vidyalaya. The parents called on authorities to immediately transfer the principal of the school. The protesters dispersed after the zonal education director of Badula assured the protesters via telephone that the principal could be transferred.
Scholarships were presented to 2 girls who were thrown into the Nilwala River by their father recently under the auspices of the Matara Probationary Care Office.
The scholarships were presented by the Southern Province Probatory Care Commissioner Indumini D. Lianage. On the 24th of this month, an individual attempted to throw these 2 children off a bridge in Matara. The individual later committed suicide after jumping into the river.
Well, with that, we wrap up lunchtime news. It was an absolute pleasure having you with us for the Newsfirst team. I'm Joel Outscoon. Have yourself a great day ahead.